Well, hello there. I thought I'd give you a little explainer to help you out with a little TED Talk outline. Can I say little anymore? Clearly, this is a one-shot take. This is for the TED Talk outline, and it really is the most important planning piece you can do to get ready for this TED Talk presentation. Um, it's pretty simple in the idea that there's no one way that they have to look. So I'm just scrolling over this bad boy here. In order to plan out your TED Talk, create a formal outline. Well, that should probably be in quotes or something, but just how about a very organized outline to help you get your presentation lined up. So if you remember from Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so's class, the Roman numeral, that's totally fine. Roman numeral one, and then capital A, and then the digit one, and then whatever. You can do that. Another fun way is a storyboard or comic strip. So that's where you can almost make a thing. If you think of it like a comic strip, that's actually how a lot of movies are made, is storyboarding, and that's just one of the ways that they kind of visualize what it is that they want to do. And it doesn't have to be digital. You can even do it on paper. Just take a picture, send it in. That's fine. So as you're planning out your talk, okay, it's not just okay, get it on paper or how you want to organize it. You really have to figure out what it is that you want to say. And so, really, the four must-haves. Remember, this is not about your Lit Circle book, and this is not about the cookie sale you were going to have, or the concert you were going to put on, or the zombie walk, or whatever it was. So instead, you are just talking about your journey. You're sharing your journey and what you got out of 20 time. I gave you 20% of the curriculum so you could work on reading, writing, research, speaking, and listening. And so that's kind of the payoff is going to be a little bit, it's going to be showcasing what you did. And so as long as you pay attention to what you did, why you chose this one, why you did this, and this is your method, how you did it, and then what you learned, the what you learned bit is going to be gold because especially with coronavirus closing down schools, school buildings, and or if it's if you ran into, some of you change topics more than once, then what you learned is perfect. Interesting and entertaining but focused. Okay, if you have some ad-libbing or some jokes or any kind of humor you want to put in there, you don't have to plan for it. It can also be a little organic. But these directions are the same directions that go into the next 2 weeks assignment, which is the actual production itself. So as far as just mapping it out, as detailed as it may be, think of it as organic. When creating your talk, note cards or cue cards would even be good. Right now I'm looking at a monitor. I actually have monitor number 2 over here, but I'm not using that. Monitor number 1, you can set up on your, you can run a Google slide, and those are kind of your cue cards. And you may see my eyes slightly looking down, but it's not that big of a deal, especially the farther back I am. There, I'm reading. I'm watching myself. There's my video. There's my words. There's my camera. So you can turn in your outline. You can organize it as a as a slideshow, and it's just like cue cards. Pro tip: don't write complete sentences on note cards or cue cards. It's actually really hard to sit there and read a sentence. If you just put a couple key words, it's kind of like a joke. Don't memorize a joke. Just memorize some key parts and make up everything in between. But consider your outline is detailed enough to get the green light from me to make your talk. So besides planning it, and that's, a writing piece is planning major projects. It's also going to tell me who's running into some difficulty. This is going to be a really, probably the most important thing that you'll do before you produce your thing, your video. So while this does use writing skill, it really is just a planning tool. It will be scored on how organized it's laid out. So don't worry about conventions and spelling, all that stuff. It's 10 writing points, and it's due Monday the 11th. So best of luck.